Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David, and welcome to Music with Tea. Join with my sister. Say hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm the other T.
This is our music podcast / video. I guess technically it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're going to be listening to some music, just talking about some music, hopefully having a good time.
Yeah. Some nice discussion.
Nice discussion.
About the lyrics.
We're gonna do some lyrical analysis. We're gonna do some musical analysis. We're gonna do some pushing of horizons, hopefully. We're gonna start today with a song called "The Art of Dying" by Gojira from the album "Way of All Flesh." One of my favorite bands, probably. I would say definitely top 10, possibly top 5.
Well, didn't you say the song itself was like top 5 favorite?
The song itself is one of my absolute favorites, yes. It is a song I was introduced to a couple years ago by a cousin of mine, and it is just absolutely fantastic. So Gojira is a French band, French heavy metalcore band. I think this song in particular definitely delves into a little bit of prog metal, progressive metal. So it's pretty fun. Yeah, so let's just jump right in.
Jump right in.
And listen to "The Art of Dying."
The beginning is great.
Yeah, right off the bat, this is a very drum-centric song, and it builds this really fantastic atmosphere. And the drums kind of force against each other.
Yeah, it's really cool to listen to it.
The timing is very unique.
I definitely appreciate the timing and the difficulty of the rhythms in this song.
I like that sound in the background. It kind of builds this like anticipation vibe, and it slowly builds on itself, right?
It also kind of makes me think of like someone singing, like a little bit gothic or Middle Ages sort of vibe.
Yeah, I like what you brought up with that, because it's like
which is like the cover art is like a kind of medieval sort of representation of like a person. That's what it makes me think of, like some, not really a Gregorian chant, but just like this low, throaty kind of primeval sort of sound.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that, but you're right. I also really like the way it drops out here. You kind of hear the heavier background drum kind of drops out, and you just get the click, 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 click. Again, just that anticipation that builds up is just perfect. Just the single click.
It builds for a while.
And then hits you. So yeah, just that build up, right? It hits you then with
What's that tinny? Is that like a...
I think it's just like a
sounds
snare.
Like a cowbell or a triangle kind of sound.
Yeah, I think there's a cowbell in
be
there. I think there's
sharper. But it's just, it's so...
Yeah, it's cool.
It's so awesome.
That's a cool sound. And very heavy, right? It just comes in hard on you.
Yeah, the high, like, tinny kind of bell sound. It's like I'm trying to follow it, and it's just a little bit off.
Yeah, all
so
of
cool.
the drums that work together are really neat, the way they kind of meld together. You've got like kind of your snare hit, but I really enjoy the bass as well in this song. If you listen to how the way the bass is kind of coming with this I love the way the bass hits kind of, and it's still following that same pattern that we had in the very beginning of the song, right? It's kind of following through that pattern. Again, it's still that same high, like, anticipation So we finally get the lyrics part of this song.
I'm trying very hard to understand what they're saying.
Couple of and we're gonna dive into the lyrics afterwards. But a couple of interesting things I like already is the way the kind of the tempo slows down, because you had this kind of fast paced drumming, and it kind of builds, and then it just kind of brings you into this like slower, like almost rolling rhythm. Like just listen to this drop again. It's fast, right?
It's like quarter note triplets after 16th notes or something. That's what it makes me think of.
Yeah, and it has a really almost like alien futuristic sound to it. I don't know, like it's like this rolling guitar sound that is in there. Really cool. We got to talk about the voice though, just a second, because this is one of the things that I feel like a lot of people have a hard time with the scream, because this is definitely like that metal scream, right? What are your thoughts on when you hear that sound? Be honest.
I'm getting a little more used to it. I mean, I'm the kind of person who, for many years, thought classical music was the only music worth listening to. And I'm like, any singing is bad. And I do like a lot of times music that has a cleaner feel and more simple sound, and you can hear what they're saying a little more easily. But I don't hate it. I will say that. I don't hate it, and I think I'm beginning to appreciate it a little bit more. So, and I definitely appreciate the music of this song.
I get where you're coming from for sure, because I think that like metal growl is a little bit hard to get into at first, particularly. There's definitely some songs that I think go overboard with that growl sound. I'm not a huge fan. For some reason with Gojira, I feel like it's a cleaner growl than some other songs, and I just really appreciate his voice, to be honest. And we'll definitely talk about. I feel like it's a little bit clearer in a sense than other metal. Like I feel like when you actually listen to how he sings it, you can understand what he's saying. Like there's a clearness to it. Not that I necessarily think you have to totally understand what he's saying to appreciate the music, right? But I'm just saying I feel like in this song particularly, there's a clearness to what he says. But let's get back to it.
Sort of.
Sort of. Change it out. And maybe that's because I've listened to this song quite a few times, so that's kind of.
But even
colors it a
some
little
pop
bit.
songs, you have to listen to a couple times before you actually know what they're saying all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, let's get back to it. I like the way they draw.
I understood most of that. What do you mean about this kind of alien sound? It sounds like
Yeah, as I'm listening to it now,
like a warning.
Yeah, it almost sounds like it's like an alien like tripod like. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just.
It does. It sounds
I
like
don't know if
something you'd
that's
hear
the
in an
vibe
alien
they're going for,
movie
but
kind of thing.
That's kind of what I'm getting from. But yeah, I want to emphasize how much the drum work. It's almost like the drums are way more forward than the guitar in this. Like the drums are. It's weird because it's almost like the drums are the melody. Like the way they use drums is just great in this song. And again, we come back to that same riff, the drums, right? The same beat that we had at the beginning. As the vocals leave, we come back to this. That's right. You can kind of catch there's a little bit of a higher voice kind of behind, like a backup vocal thing going on.
A little bit of harmony.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that effect. That's cool. I like the way they just give that little break in between, like the vocals kind of clean out, and then it just kind of gives you this.
Pretty much the only time there's no drums, I think.
Yeah, I like that. And then it comes back in. Okay, so first of all, that's kind of like, I guess, the chorus of the song. You kind of understand what he's saying there, right?
Yeah.
Take no possessions.
Yes.
Or, yeah.
You can pretty
take
clearly
no
hear what he's
possessions.
saying
I would
there.
rather travel light.
And I have heard it a couple times.
Yeah, that's true. We both.
And I've heard you singing that part. So.
Yeah. Just really quickly, I love the double bass, the blast beats or whatever they call it. That comes in that part. It's just like, and then the snare just kind of like that slow, like quarter note snare or whatever in the back. It's great. Again, that double blast coming in. Still a little bit of that alien feel. And the third movement comes in. So. Notice how it like almost hangs a little bit. Okay. I just gotta say, I love the way that the third part of the song kind of comes in. This kind of like this outro thing, basically, that happens. I just think it's so fire. It kind of, the tempo again changes, and you kind of get more of that guitar work in there.
Yeah.
It's so good. You want to say something?
I was just saying, it's kind of interesting because I don't know if you've mentioned that it's almost like a dream with the singing part, or kind of like a Sound of Silence sort of vision, or in general like just this thought process of someone thinking about like dying. And it seems like the music at the end here, it kind of comes out of like the alien feel, the gothic feel, and it seems a little more real somehow, a little more forward looking.
Almost like you've woken up or something,
Yeah.
or you've fallen asleep, or either you've like your tortured thoughts, you fall asleep and you're like kind of drifting away, or maybe it's like,
I don't know. I was imagining more like waking up.
Waking
like it's
up?
daytime now. It's life is going on.
interesting.
It's a bit more upbeat.
Definitely a little more upbeat, yeah. The drums are a lot lighter here. You don't have that really tough beat. song takes its time. It doesn't rush it. So, let us take a look at our lyrics here. Because again, yeah, it's a little bit hard to catch everything that it says, right?
Yeah. A little bit.
So I really like the initial line, breathing slowly, mechanical heartbeat. So, the song's called The Art of Dying. So it definitely has this theme of kind of death. Mm-hmm. And then also, like, sleep. You mentioned, like, the idea of, like, dreaming. And that, I feel like, is definitely a little bit connected. Oh, there's still this kind of cool part where it kind of, like, this, like, almost the middle, like, interlude part hits. Which is kind of cool. But let's see. What do you think the song's about? First of all, like initial thoughts. What do you think of when you hear that song? You kind of shared a little bit earlier.
Wow.
Because you look at these lyrics.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot about death. It seems like someone who's... He says he's losing contact with the living. I don't know. Someone who's sort of tired, you know?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, there's some actually really interesting things in the lyrics. A couple lines I really like. Definitely, there's all part of the vibe. Like when I listen to it, is like someone who's dying, like on their deathbed, right? Maybe that's like the most literal way to interpret it.
Yeah.
This line, breathing slowly, mechanical heartbeat. Losing contact with the living, I mean losing contact with the living, dying, right?
Yeah. Or here...
Almighty TV plugged, hybrid empty brain. Part of that could be like plugged into a TV monitor. Like mechanical heartbeat, you've got some kind of, mechanical thing attached to your heart, keeping you alive in a sense, you know?
A pacemaker.
Almighty TV is like the pulse thing on a hospital, right?
Yeah, down in the middle it says, I cannot stomach these forms and colors anymore, but I'm here to continue after all I've been through. It's like someone who's like done with living. It's like, I'm just done. I can't do this anymore. But I don't know how to die.
Yeah. I like this line, neglected emotion leading to catastrophic voyage on the other side. I think that's really cool. A really, really cool line. There's also this idea of like someone who's stressed out or like just doesn't have a lot of purpose or meaning. In a sense. There's basically like someone who's like has this stress, tension, no reason, just reflex, driven by clockwork is like the idea of being driven by your clock, by your job, by, whatever you have to be doing the next minute.
I realize I haven't closed my eyes in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't had rest. Every time he does sleep, he has bad dreams, catastrophic voyage on the other side. Yeah, that's an interesting...
And then it says, I've been given the gift of so small hope. deep inside. So he's saying, I don't have much hope, but he does have a little bit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really say for what, which is interesting.
Yeah, and then, of course, at the end here, he definitely talks about life and death, right? Like, he's trying to keep his eyes open, trying to stay alive, maybe. Kind of realizing how precious life actually is, even though there's all this thing about, like, tension, right, building. This is like a very Christian idea, like, take no possessions, I'd rather travel light. It's like, well, you can't take it with you, right? That's like almost a cliche, but it's still true, right? I think the line, I'm of this kind that kills all day, but I don't yet know how to die, probably the most interesting line. Kind of saying, like, I'm the person that kills all day, or, like, hurts people all day, in a sense. Like, maybe to bring it to, like, a, like, Christian view, it's like, I'm one who sins, right? But I don't yet know how to die. It's like, I'm living this life as sin, but I don't know what happens when I die, right? Like, I can't take any possessions with me. I don't know, but I don't know, like, how am I gonna actually die, right?
I don't know what the consequences will be.
Yeah. Like,
or how to deal with them.
Yeah.
The consequences of killing all day.
Yeah, and then it's like the last thing is, art of dying is the way to let all go. Which I have no idea what he's saying here. My shape in the reflector has now forever a life on its own. This is kind of weird. I mean, this is not a Christian band in any way, so who knows what they're... it's almost like they're trying to say, like, oh, you have to find some sort of inner peace about yourself, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, well, you know, you need something more than just inner peace, you know?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's cool. I like these lyrics
a lot. It definitely is.
I think they're really, kind of poetic and cool. Definitely not, like, really obvious on the nose what he's talking about, but in general, you know, even the album's called Way of All Flesh, right? Which immediately makes you think of death, right?
Yeah.
Everyone eventually dies. So, kind of a cool, I don't know, really cool song, really cool lyrics.
Or again, like, the combination of the album art, which is like a Middle Ages.
Yeah.
It makes you think of, like, black plagues and
right.
disease.
Definitely, it has that, like,
kind of dying.
Has like that, and I think that's kind of what it's going for, right? Is this this look of, yeah, some like black death things, like we were saying. I like it. I do like the album art. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so that is Gojira, Art of Dying, from The Way of All Flesh. Really cool song. One of my favorites.
Definitely.
Hopefully that was enjoyable to listen to. Me and Christina dig in a little bit. What did you think? Overall opinions? Thoughts?
I like it quite a bit. Because I think you mentioned at one point that you think metal is actually kind of similar to classical in a way, which is maybe my favorite genre of music.
Okay.
But
maybe we'll have
because
to do
it's
some
definitely
classical,
very music heavy.
Yeah.
And just the rhythms and the drums, and it's quite interesting to listen to.
Yeah, I definitely lean more towards musical heavy songs versus lyrical heavy songs. And this is definitely a music, like, the lyrics are cool, but it's definitely musical forward, because it has, like, these basically, like, 3 or 4 significant movements to it.
Yeah.
I mean, only really one of those
and
is
just the
lyrical.
timing and the way the rhythms change, and it speeds up and it slows down, and it just, all of that is very fun to listen to.
Yeah. Anyway, very cool song. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah. Hopefully we'll do some more videos like this. Maybe get a webcam. I don't know. I'm still working things out. But this was fun. Enjoyed this.
It was.
And we'll talk about some more music in the future. Catch you guys later. Bye. Say bye, Christina. You have to
Goodbye.
You have to let the people know you're leaving. She's new to the YouTube game. SMH.
Wow.
Bye.